Lyre of the Lion by TheNightNinja2. Chapter 28. Teasing. Mirabelle needed to stay on the ship with Louisa and Antonio. Something felt wrong about the current state of the Lone Islands, and she did not want to lose her temper. She also didn't want to step on Caspian's authority. The three of them remained on the ship even when most of the crew had disembarked to aid Caspian. Something about needing to defend the ship and send the signal flag. "Mama, can I play your lyre?" asked Antonio. Mirabelle knew he was probably bored with being on the ship. There wasn't much for a small child to do on a vessel like this, so she gave him the lyre.
"I wonder what's going on. I'd love to see part of the land where you used to rule,"
said Louisa. "The air around the islands is strange. I don't know why, but I know if I disembarked then heads would roll. Plus, Caspian asked me to stay here and keep guard of the ship, since I have more sailing experience than the rest of the crew," said Mirabelle.
"How many times have you had to kill people?"
asked Louisa. "I've been in several wars. I've killed in self-defense. And I've executed traitors. I lost count of the exact number, but you've seen how quick I am to draw my blade nowadays. I never used to be like that. The Encanto changed me. Having to fight just to be seen by people who were supposed to be my family. My sword was the easiest way to make my point and show I wasn't to be pushed around. Not that it helped much because Alma was too stubborn to get that point," said Mirabelle.
"Until you broke her nose,"
said Louisa. "Even then, she wouldn't even listen to Aslan," said Mirabelle.
"I should get back to work. Those knots won't tie themselves,"
said Louisa. "You can take a break. Don't try to manage a ship this size by yourself. I saw the men getting everything set before they disembarked. Doing everything yourself would seriously worry your admirers," said Mirabelle.
"Like Drinian is worried about you staying up all night with the star charts,"
said Louisa. "I'm fine," said Mirabelle.
"That's not what I meant, and you know it," said Louisa.
Mirabelle blushed.
"It's only been 2 days, and you've already got a crush on him," giggled Louisa.
"Oh, don't pretend I haven't seen the way you look at a few of the Minotaurs," said Mirabelle. It was Louisa's turn to blush. "How long have you had a thing for guys with horns?" teased Mirabelle.
"Shut up! You know how much I love mythology,"
said Louisa. "Or is it the overly chivalrous acts that make you feel like a proper lady?" sing-songed Mirabelle.
"I will throw you overboard,"
said Louisa. "I'd like to see you try," laughed Mirabelle. Louisa lifted her sister over her head and started walking towards the side of the ship. Mirabelle decided to call Louisa's bluff.
"How did you know I was bluffing?"
asked Louisa. "Because I know you. All you big strong types would never hurt a fly, let alone your little sister," said Mirabelle.
"Bitch,"
muttered Louisa. "Dumbass," countered Mirabelle. "Mama, dear, don't be mean to each other," shouted Antonio. "We aren't, Tonito. We're just joking. We don't mean what we're saying," said Mirabelle. "But those are mean words," exclaimed Antonio. "Normally, yes, but we are just saying them. We don't mean them," said Mirabelle. "Why?" asked Antonio. "Because we're sisters. We can make fun of each other and tease each other, but we don't mean it," said Mirabelle. "Like how Camilo and Lola tease each other?" asked Antonio. "Exactly," said Mirabelle. She could hear noises coming from the main island that sounded like cheering. "Time to sail into port. Louisa, lower the sails," said Mirabelle. Mirabelle took the helm and began to sail the ship into the view of land. "Hoist the flag!" called Mirabelle. Louisa had never experienced a feast before. So much roasted meat and vegetables she had never seen in her life. "Your Majesty, these people have lived in fear of being sold their whole lives. Is there anything you can do to lift their spirits?" asked Byrne's wife. Caspian looked at Mirabelle, who brought out her lyre. Duke Byrne gasped as he finally recognized the mysterious beauty that had sailed the ship into the port. There were murmurings at the table as the legendary Lyre made an appearance.
The princess from the old tales! She's returned!
Mirabel played the lyre. The party went silent, desperate to hear the magical music of old. Louisa whispered to Antonio,
Does Mira look older to you?
Narnia's magic is making Mummy look her real age, said Antonio, as if it were obvious. Lucy and Edmund smiled at getting to see their little sister in her natural element once more, at a party playing her lyre for the people.
You will like the sound of nails on a chalkboard? You people are crazier than I thought, and I will be adding this to my report to the British Council,
said Eustace. Everyone at the table glared at him. He had complained about the food, the amount of room at the table, and now he had something against the most beautiful music in the world. Edmund finally smacked his cousin. Edmund! Shouted Lucy.
No, Lucy, he deserved it. He insulted our little sister again. It's time he learns his words have consequences,
said Edmund sternly. Mirabel, however, smiled sweetly, though her eyes were full of rage. Caspian, this idiot has insulted the Princess of Narnia repeatedly. Perhaps it's time to bring some old laws into play and lock him in the brig for a few days, said Mirabel. Mira! Exclaimed Lucy.
No, Lou. Mira is right. Eustace can't get away with this, even if he is family,
said Edmund.
And it's better we carry out the punishment before someone else takes the matter of your sister's honour into their own hands,
said Caspian, seeing the angry looks of the rest of the crew at Eustace. Mirabel continued to play her lyre, but no one seemed to notice the winces Eustace was making as Antonio repeatedly kicked the boy's shin under the table. That night everyone went to bed, and Eustace was thrown into the brig. He was, of course, given food and water, but Edmund and Mirabel agreed that 4 days in a cell would do more good than harm. Hopefully it would at least open his eyes that insulting people you barely know comes with consequences. Lucy was angry at both Edmund and Mirabel for punishing Eustace.
He needs to learn when to hold his tongue. If Aunt Alberta and Uncle Harold won't teach him, then it's up to us, especially when it comes to Mirabel. If it was any one of her family speaking to her like that, then wouldn't you want them to learn their lesson? Asked Edmund.
I suppose, but this just seems so harsh, said Lucy.
Imagine if he had spoken to a police officer the way he speaks to Mirabel. He'd be escorted home, and Aunt Alberta would have given him a stern talking to about his behaviour, and that he needs to learn to respect authority. Aunt Alberta isn't here, and if he insults the wrong person, he could literally lose his head. We're doing him a favour, said Edmund.
You're right, Lucy conceded with a sigh. Louisa was keen on exploring the islands while they were there. 2 crewmen went with her for protection, so she wouldn't get lost. Ruby also accepted the offer to join them, standing on Louisa's shoulder and keeping a keen eye out for any trouble. The 2 men would forever brag to their compatriots that they went to go on a date with the Duchess. Louisa suppressed a giggle as she watched her sister enter a shop with Captain Drinian one day. Perhaps this voyage would end in her sister finally courting someone. 3 weeks later the Dawn Treader launched again, ready to continue its great adventure. Eustace was holding his tongue, for the most part, at least around Mirabel, but if his journal was ever found, he'd likely be tossed into the sea. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. That's a good chapter, that one. I love how Louisa's just like, I'll throw you over the ship's side. And Mirabel's just like, no you won't. And then finally snapping at Eustace. Let's see how this works out, but I like how Antonio's standing up for himself. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day now, whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-bino pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care, okay? Love you guys. Bye!